The reason I started thinking about this is because I remembered what malignant moods do to people. And if there was anything that ever got in the way of me meditating clearly and happily and attuning to the gurus, it was indulging in malignant moods. And so what I want to do is just read a little bit from Yogananda's talk and then just discuss it a bit. And this was given at the Self-Realization Fellowship Temple in Encinitas on March 5th, 1939. So now remember, this was given in 1939 by Yogananda. Okay, so the language and the style is a little bit different than today's. So moods are not easily defined, but you know what they are. When you are in a mood, your behavior is not natural. You are not the person you should be. The end result is that you feel wretched, and how foolish it is to be unhappy through your own doing. Nobody likes misery, and why not analyze yourself next time you are in a mood? You will see how you are willingly and willfully making yourself miserable. And while you are doing so, others around you feel the unpleasantness of your state of mind. Wherever you go, you tell about yourself without speaking, because your whole mood carries its vibrations in your eyes. And anyone looking at you is aware of the negativity recorded there. Seeing the dark feelings reflected in your eyes, others are repelled. They want to stay away from those discomforting vibrations. You must remove moods from your mental mirror before you can remove the reflection from your eyes. Now, one of the things that I liked about this introduction is that it kind of brings home that your moods are really your own responsibility. That whether or not you're in a mood, it's all up to you. And I remember when I would indulge in moods, often it was always someone else's fault. Whether it was my friends or whether it was my girlfriend at the time, whatever it might be, it's always someone else's fault. And I eventually got to the point where I decided that no matter what mood I was in, it was my fault. Just hands down, I would say that's my fault. Whenever I would get around other people and they would be in a bad mood around me and I would start to feel it, I would not say, well, they're in a bad mood, so now I'm in a bad mood, so it's their fault. I would even go so far as now to say, well, that's my fault. Because if within me I had that state that was receptive to being around someone in a foul mood, obviously it's my fault. And what I found is the more that I started to accept that, one, the less I found that I attracted people in foul moods. And secondarily, what I found was if I maintained that it was my fault when I was in the presence of someone in a bad mood, usually it would change. So what I want to do is kind of encourage you to experiment with that a little bit. When you feel that you're in a mood, or when you're around someone else that's in a mood, don't externalize, don't project. Just say, well, I must be receptive to this. And then decide I'm not up for it anymore. All right. Now, Yogananda said here that seeing the dark feelings reflected in your eyes, others are repelled. They want to stay away from those discomforting vibrations. He's partially right. Okay. Those others who are repelled are those people who do not enjoy moods. But what we have to remember is that there's a saying that misery loves company. If people see that you're in a foul mood and they like to be in foul moods, well, they'll come right over to you and they'll talk to you and they'll get right in it with you. Okay? So beware of those folks who are into your foul moods, who want to be there for you and talk about it and all these sorts of things. It just might be that they could be, going to this previous talk, what you would call a mental alcoholic, someone who's addicted to negative thought patterns. All right? So it's just something to consider. And after I read this, I thought that was pretty handy to know. Now, Yogananda goes on to say that we live in a glass house. You are living in the glass house of this world, and everyone else is watching you. You cannot pose. You have to live a natural life, so why not behave in such a way that others will look up to you? Why should they not see joy in your face? All your good qualities are covered up inside by moodiness. Not only are others observing how you conduct yourself, you are also studying how they behave. Because you tend to make comparisons as a result of constantly watching those around you, you fall into moods. Or you may become moody over the endless difficulties one encounters in this world. Moods are often the result of environmental influences. Each one of us is affected in different ways by the world about us. But you should not allow yourself to indulge in moods over external conditions. Why should you take on the effects of your environment? There are people who resort to moods in an attempt to avoid facing some problem. But moodiness is neither an escape nor an emotional safety valve. It is natural now and then to fall momentarily into a mood, but don't hold on to it. Now, one of the other problems with moods is that when you get in one of the things that makes it worse is that you're upset that you're in one. You think, well, I should be different, or I should be happier, or I should be, more cheerful and joyous. And when you find that this is the case, what I'd like to encourage you to do is when you feel a mood coming on, if you can't just turn it off, if you just can't stop it then just say, all right, well, I'm in a mood now. Don't make it into a problem. That's the way I am now. Maybe I'll go take a nap. Maybe I'll go for a walk. Just do something. And if you don't attach to it, if you don't identify with it, it can just leave just as quickly as it came. Okay? Because holding on to it is what keeps it within our awareness and what keeps it within our consciousness. Now, each type of mood has a specific cause, and it lies within your own mind. To remove a mood, you must remove its cause. One should introspect each day in order to understand the nature of his mood and how to correct it, if it is a harmful one. Perhaps you find yourself in an indifferent state of mind. No matter what is suggested, you are not interested. It is necessary then to make a conscious effort to create some positive interest. Beware of indifference, which ossifies your progress in life by paralyzing your willpower. Now, a few years ago, before we moved down here to Asheville, when Melissa and I would go to CSA a couple times a year, we'd meet with Roy. And he was talking about something about people being more self-realized. And so me being the brown-nosing student, I said, well, what can I do to be more self-realized? And he just kicked me. And he said, what you need to do is find a reason to get up in the morning that makes you happy. And I thought, oh, that makes sense. And the more I thought about it, the whole moodiness and this indifference, I had an idea of what I wanted to do. I had an idea of where I wanted to go with my life. But every time I got out in the morning, I wasn't like, yes, let's go do that. Right? I wasn't enthused about it. And I had to contemplate that a little bit. And what I found is if I decided the night before, I knew what I was going to do the next day. And it was going to be something I enjoyed, whether it was the work I was doing, some creative project or whatever. If I told myself, this is going to be a blast, I would immediately get up and be ready to go. And I would go meditate. I'd be happy, calm, peaceful. I would get into my day. I would do what I decided I was going to do. And then 4 or 5 p.m., once I got it all finished, I felt great. Because I had decided that I was going to be involved in what was going on. I was going to be happy about it, and I was going to enjoy it.